Hello, everyone. The sound of this voice is Lily Mae, creator of the Glambitious brand. And I'm excited to bring you another interview series here with a dynamic woman that owns multiple businesses and is doing very well in the CEO space. If you're unfamiliar with the Glambitious brand, I would encourage you to visit our website, theglamceo.com, just to learn about all of the resources we have available for entrepreneurs, including ebooks, speaking opportunities, webinars, you name it. I consider us kind of the Amazon.com for women entrepreneurs. So please visit theglamceo.com. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Glambitious IAM. So without further ado, Mary, if you would just introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about who you are.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Mary Patterson, and I'm from Winston. I'm in Winston, North Carolina. I'm a busy mom with two sons, one age 17 and 13. In terms of my career, I own two rental car agency locations, one here in Winston-Salem, and the other one is in Greenville, North Carolina. And I also, on top of that, I'm a registered yoga teacher, so I also own a yoga studio.
Fantastic. So tell us what inspired you to become the owner of a rental car company. That's a very specific, niche in travel. So what inspired you to do that?
Well, on my previous corporate America job, I was in management for Fortune 500, and I had been looking for a while for the right opportunity. But to be honest with you, I could not afford the downtime where you have to build a business from scratch. Like I couldn't, with children and husband and responsibilities, I couldn't get in a business where I had to wait 2 years to be profitable or anything like that. And so basically with this, it was a pre-existing location where the owner was retiring. So that meant from day one, I would have revenue and be able to have a livelihood to support my family.
Wow, that's fantastic. So for other women that are looking to do similar, business moves, like take over an existing business, how would they find such an opportunity like that?
I recommend two specific websites. One is BizQuest, BizQuest.com, www.bizquest.com, or BizBuySell, www.bizbuySell.com. And they don't cost anything. You can search the listings. You can put in, basically, if you want to buy an existing business. And the good thing is, by going through those websites, you can see the financials, the tax returns. So, for example, is the person really selling a viable business, or are they trying to jump ship for a business that's declining, that sort of thing. So you would have all the information you need to make an informed decision.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic advice and resources to share with women that are interested in doing that. And so you also mentioned that you're in the wellness space as a yoga, meditation teacher, and breath coach. So when did you get into that and what was that journey like?
I would say in terms of owning the studio last year, so 2020, but basically what happened in my 30s, I used to weigh, more than I weigh now, and I started to have some health problems and some joint problems. And so I was going to orthopedics who basically was saying at that age, they don't really want to do things like knee replacements. So they assigned me to physical therapy. So I was going to physical therapy, which the copay was costly. So I remember looking at the physical therapist and saying, there has got to be a cheaper way to do this. And the physical therapist said, the moves are pretty much the same moves that are in yoga and a lot cheaper. So I started doing yoga. Oh gosh, it's been over a decade ago, probably about a decade and a half. And I got my teacher certification a couple of years ago. But basically, I do it. That part is for my own health and my own mobility. I want to be able to age gracefully. I don't want to lose the ability to move, and I don't want to be in pain.
Wow, I think it's fantastic for people to use their challenges to, encourage different types of business pursuits. So that's fantastic. What advice would you give for women that may have been in corporate America like yourself, but they're a little nervous about becoming a CEO or entrepreneur? Like, what advice would you give them?
Believe in yourself no matter what, as far as that. Don't be nervous. But the most important thing I would say is do your research, know what you're getting into, And then make sure in terms of your personal funding, I didn't, have any financing or anything I didn't go get a loan or anything like that to start my businesses. But I did make sure I had some money set aside for a few months worth of my living expenses, but also payroll. So it's a good idea because most businesses um, that close, it's due to being undercapitalized. And so you want to have, it doesn't have to be millions of dollars or anything like that, but just whether it's a couple of months, 2 or 3 months to cover your expenses, but also the business expenses, that's really important. But the biggest thing that I see, and even here out in the community, is about doing your research because a lot of times something looks good and then it turns out to not quite be what was advertised. So the biggest thing, do your research.
Absolutely. And so, with 2020 being quite a challenging year, one question I like to ask women is how they maintain positive mental health, especially being, like you said, a mother and a business owner with multiple businesses. So, could you share like some mental health or positive mental health tips or self care advice for other women that may have had a challenging year as well?
Absolutely. So the biggest, quickest thing you can do in terms, believe it or not, the breathing controls everything in terms of the flight or fight response, the stress response, the thing that's so harmful to all of us. So taking that moment and breathing through your nose, and unlike what most people depict, where it's out through the mouth, you won't actually want your mouth closed. Doing breathing exercises, there are a number of apps. One is just called Breathe, and it's free. So working through breathing exercises takes a minute or so, but it can calm you down. It can lower blood pressure. And so definitely taking that moment out to breathe a few times a day because life is stressful. And so it's something simple you can do. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't require any fancy clothes or anything like that. Now, obviously, I'm an advocate of yoga because also it has been shown to mitigate the stress response. And 2020 was a stressful year for everybody. And to be honest, 2021 is opening up as a stressful year. And so, because of that, I would definitely suggest there are simple, like restorative yoga is one that you're not doing stressful poses or anything like that, but you're holding comfortable, supported poses for 5 or 10 minutes. And even if you're just doing 10 or 15 minutes, the best yoga is the yoga that you will actually do. So, whatever you can commit to doing, that helps as far as self care. Um, Beyond that, meditation, taking a few minutes. There are different apps. I don't even have to list them all. I'm sure everybody's familiar with them, but where you can take 3 to 5 minutes and just calm yourself and focus, because focus is important during these troubling times. So in terms of self-care, all of that's important. And I still, even though yoga is my thing, I still do cardio. It kind of burns off the aggression or a hard day. So definitely taking that time out to move and to breathe.
Absolutely. So, are there any closing words that you would want, the viewers to know about you, who you are, and then as well how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. But I think the biggest closing thing I would say before I give my connection information is this. As you go into 2021, the biggest thing that saved me and my business is I was prepared to pursue the funding programs that were offered. And what I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs talking about that I run into is they didn't have their pro forma financial documents ready. They were having to go back and try to get accountants to recreate it, and then the deadline closed. So Boy Scout motto, I believe, is be prepared. So that would be the biggest thing, is be prepared. And in terms of reaching me, I think the easiest way to reach me would be my email address for my personal life or the yoga studio is info@marypattersonyoga.com, and the website is marypattersonyoga.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mary, for hopping on and sharing some really good gems in a very short amount of time, actually. Like, I'm definitely going to check out those two websites you mentioned that allow people to purchase existing businesses. I didn't even know that they existed. So that's fantastic. And then the mental health pieces you shared, I think will definitely help women. And like you said, when it comes to getting grants and funding, you definitely have to have your business documents in order. And I think last year taught us that for sure. Like, you need to stay ready. Oh, I think they say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So,
Absolutely.
Yes, we appreciate you. And for the viewers that are tuned in, definitely connect with Mary. I'm sure there's insight that you can gain from her business experience. Do you offer coaching or consulting for emerging entrepreneurs?
I do offer coaching, and one of the things, because right now we're doing a new draft of the website, we're rebranding. One of the things that I do is a small mastermind group, because a lot of times when people encounter me in public and that sort of thing, people all want the side advice, but you find that the questions are similar. So I think being able to have a small group where we could all support and learn from each other would be great. So I'll be launching a mastermind group as well. And so that'll be coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Fantastic. Well, we enjoy connecting with you. And viewers, again, be sure to connect with her. And if you're unfamiliar with the Glambitious brand, please visit theglamceo.com just to sign up for our email list and stay in the loop of all the amazing things that we have going on. So we're wishing everyone a prosperous 2021. We're hoping that everyone is getting it together as it relates to their business documents, as it relates to staying on top of their positive mental health, and just staying in the loop of what we have going on so that you can connect and learn from dynamic women like Miss Mary Patterson. So thank you all for tuning in.